Hey guys, welcome back to CLOWNFISH TV. This is Neon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about the rise of Skywalker. There have been more plot leaks and, oh boy, it sounds
and rumors, right?
And rumors. It sounds like we're in for a treat if this is true.
A treat being in quotes.
A treat being in quotes. Yeah, this sounds really, really bad, guys. We've done a couple of videos about alleged leaks, and now that we're getting closer to the movie dropping at the box office, I think the chances of these leaks being legit goes up exponentially.
Right.
Because they're wrapping up production. There's, they're working on novelizations and all this stuff. And if this is true, this is not going to be good.
No.
And the one thing I want to point out that's really interesting is for all their talk about how they were going to ignore The Last Jedi. If these rumors are true, it sounds like they're relying heavily on The Last Jedi.
Well, did they actually say they were ignoring The Last Jedi, or did the fans all say that they should ignore The Last Jedi?
I think it's wishful thinking on the fans' part that they would ignore it. A lot of people assumed when J.J. Abrams came in that he was going to do a course correction. This is not going to be the case. If these rumors are true, it relies very, very heavily on The Last Jedi.
Well, there's been several interviews with Abrams saying that he's not stepping over it. So this probably would be true.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, again, it's all rumor, hearsay. Take it as you will.
Yeah, but a lot of times the hearsay and the rumors turn out to be true, or at least there's a kernel of truth to them, because, people are like, oh my god, they're not going to do evil army C-3PO again after Attack of the Clones, are they? And there he's got red eyes in the trailer. I'm like, ah, crap. Yeah, they are. So, before we get into this video, we're going to talk a little bit about Mark Hamill, too.
Yeah.
Very disappointed in Mark Hamill. Before we get into the video, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. I think we hit 64,000 subs this week. We're hoping for 100,000 soon. So anything you can do helps the channel grow, helps us get found on YouTube. It's getting harder and harder to get found on YouTube these days. So hitting that sub button definitely
Yeah, and double
helps.
check, because they keep unsubbing people.
I've had people in the comments being like, I got unsubbed. I'm not getting your notifications. I'm not getting, So
check your status and share. So let's get on with what matters.
All right, well, let's talk about Mark Hamill first. This doesn't require a whole video, I don't think, but I'm really disappointed.
Okay, let me preface by saying I cannot stand Ivanka Trump. I know people like her. I just think I don't like her. I mean, I actually like Donald better than I like Ivanka, so I don't like her either. That being said, this was not okay. I'm saying, I mean, I get being upset that she's using the Force is strong in my family, because, it's a marketing move. What is everybody talking about? Galaxy's Edge, Star Wars coming. It's a sheer marketing move, most likely. And I get, why you'd be upset by that. But there's kids in it, and it's about the kid being dressed as a stormtrooper.
No, I was just like, yeah, that's the problem I have with it. Like, look, anybody who follows Mark Hamill on Twitter knows he's very anti-Trump. He's allowed to have those opinions.
We're not pro-Trump either.
I'm not a huge Trump fan either.
I'm kind of more like, I think both sides need a closet cleaning, like big time,
Equal opportunity resentment of the current political situation in the country.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just like, look, dude, because we've gone to bat for Mark Hamill before. A lot of the fans have gone to bat for Mark Hamill before.
Because they pick on him unnecessarily a lot of times.
Yeah, I mean, the media has torn Mark a new one on multiple occasions, because he has thrown shade at Disney, Disney Star Wars. And I get that he doesn't like the Trumps, but yeah, throwing shade at a photo with kids. I mean, how do you explain your kid,
Luke Skywalker hates you.
Luke Skywalker hates you. You're all sitting here. I think it looks like
kids should always be off limits.
Kids should be off limits. I think in any of these kind of quarrels, it's the same. It looks like a Star Wars Lego or something they're putting together.
I mean, if I were a betting woman, this was a staged thing, because what's really big? What's one of the big trending things? Star Wars. Let's go do one of those to get attention. If I were betting, I'd bet this was some kind of. I mean, because that's what they all do for this stuff. They're doing things to get clicks, to get hits, to get people to look at it. So I'm sure it probably was staged on some level.
Is this their way of getting the right wingers back on board with Star Wars?
No,
Trumps.
No, I don't mean. I mean, I think that the Trumps, whoever the PR person probably thought this was a good idea.
Yeah, I just look, and we've again. I've always had a lot of respect for Mark
I
Hamill.
love that kid though. That kid's glorious.
He's like, what? What is
that
up?
that kid's like, yeah, baby. I just like the kid's attitude. The kid's attitude's great.
Because if you're a Trump, you're going to be in the news all the time. But yeah, I think the kids need to be off limits. That's like, when they were jumping Barron Trump. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I think he needs to be off limits.
Yeah, kids are off limits, Mark.
And that's...
Now, he has come back and said, though, he wasn't meaning the kids. And I'm sure it was a knee-jerk reaction, but still...
Yeah, I mean, even, liberal publications are like, dude, why are you picking on kids? Mm-hmm. And, why does Luke Skywalker hate us? And here someone said, forget the parents, the kid rocks, zooming in the boys.
Yeah, the kid does rock. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, cropping Trump and Kushner out of the photo. Agreed, Hamill responded. Yeah, so, and Ivanka Trump didn't answer.
Go force yourself. I mean.
Yeah, that was, I said,
I mean, there are lines. And that was lines that was crossed. But I don't want to make this about that.
No,
I just wanted to mention that that went too far.
This isn't a good look, though, Mark. This is not a good look.
Yeah, just leave kids out. I'm sure it wasn't intended that it was attacking kids. I think it was more about what they posted and, them trying to use it probably for some kind of, just a publicity thing, which, I can't say anything. We, sometimes things are trending. People will use them. We've used them before too. So I mean, I'm not gonna say against them for that. But what I'm saying is, I think it was more because of that. And then but there was kids involved, and you shouldn't have, trashed kids. But anyway, back to this. Speaking of trashing things.
All right, so I want to bring this up first. This is actually this is coming from Dr. J1828 on Flickr. Is Flickr still a thing? I guess it's still a thing. So, if you go to Disney World or Disneyland, they have the Star Wars launch bay where they have a lot of the props from the movies, and one of the things that irritates me to no end when I go to this, and normally we've always liked the launch bay.
I do like the launch bay, but that's kind of boring. I do like it.
Yeah, but they have the Skywalker lightsaber. Mm-hmm. Anakin's lightsaber passed down to Luke, but they call it Rey's lightsaber. Rey's lightsaber, her hand-me-down lightsaber. Most people would recognize it as Luke's lightsaber, maybe Anakin's lightsaber. So this has been going on since The Force Awakens. They've been calling it Rey's lightsaber in the launch bay. This is important because this ties into these ridiculous rumors.
Yes. Speaking of trashing things.
Coming from Inverse, and if they are true, this movie is basically it's not going to be what people hope for, which is, are we going to jump over The Last Jedi and do The Rise of Skywalker, make that more of a sequel to The Force Awakens? This is a direct continuation of The Last Jedi, more of The Last Jedi, and some of its questionable, out of left field decisions. Okay, so coming from Inverse, huge Star Wars 9 spoilers reveal how Rey finds Leia's secret lightsaber.
Yeah, now Leia has a lightsaber, which goes along with other things we heard that Luke had trained Leia to be a Jedi, which I guess makes sense. Luke probably did train Leia. That would make sense.
But why not mention it in the previous two movies? Why sideline Leia in a freaking coma?
Because in the books, he did train Leia also.
Yeah.
It makes sense that he would have, but like you said, it was never mentioned before. Why not mention it at all? I mean, that didn't... Why now? That's...
well, because they killed Luke, and they've got Leia's still alive via leftover footage from The Force Awakens, which I think is a terrible idea. So there apparently the rumor is that when we've heard this one before, that Leia is going to train Rey, but now we find that there's more to it. In fact, we find that Rey's journey in The Rise of Skywalker will echo Luke Skywalker's sad journey in The Last Jedi. In fact, we're going to repeat a lot of the story beats from The Last Jedi with Rey instead of Luke. I don't know if she's going to be drinking the green milk or not, but somebody's drinking something over at Lucasfilm to think that this is a good idea. If it's true, we're only a couple months out. I think it's probably true.
Some of it I think would sound like something they do.
All right, so the final installment of Star Wars Trilogy of Trilogies is just weeks away from its release, and fans' appetite for spoilers and clues about the movie is kicked into hyperdrive.
You guys want to know how bad it's going to suck.
I think it's going to suck really bad. On the heels of last week's massive leak about The Rise of Skywalker's climactic final showdown, a new Reddit leak reaffirms many of those details while also suggesting Rey will have a tantalizing new tool in her arsenal for the final showdown against the dark side, a lightsaber that Leia used during her training at Luke's Jedi Temple. So the rumors of there being a de-aged Mark Hamill and a de-aged Carrie Fisher as a flashback at the beginning of Star Wars, which is unprecedented, might be true. That they're going to use the mighty Marvel de-aging technology. I don't want to start a Star Wars movie that way, but that's apparently possible. So possible spoilers ahead. Okay, so Reddit moderator of the Star Wars Leaks subreddit prefaced the forum's latest info dump by acknowledging that the film is still in the final stages.
It's all rumor.
And may change somewhat ahead of the final cut. You know, here's the thing about these rumors. I remember, one, there were a lot of fake rumors for The Last Jedi. Tons of fake rumors. And the fake rumored version of The Last Jedi sounded a hell of a lot better than the actual movie. But The Force Awakens, they were dead on. Like, I'm like, oh my god, they're not going to kill Han Solo. They would never kill Han Solo, have him go out like a punk and just like fall off a bridge. That's so stupid. This has to be fake. No.
Well, it's just like, according to this guy, Rey will be rattled by the discovery that she's Palpatine's granddaughter, we've heard this before.
Yep.
And fearful, I can't speak, and fearful of her own terrible power. So she chooses to follow the example set by Luke and exile herself on the island where the Jedi began. So the same island.
Ahch-To, yeah. So she's going to basically become a creepy old hermit like Luke before her, who's hankering for a tasty glass of green space walrus milk.
No, thank you.
Are they gonna show her milk in the the walruses?
I don't know if they'd be that dumb.
Who thinks this is a good idea? Let's remind people of The Last Jedi. People hated The Last Jedi. Let's go back to that well.
Well, not just that. It's like dumb because, you know, if people are watching these in order, it's gonna be Luke's there and now she's there. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You know, you want new things. And this goes back to what my one friend was saying. He's like, I don't care anymore because there's nothing new and exciting. It's all like rehashing everything already. And that's what they're doing again. So. Yep.
So shortly after arriving back on Ahch-To, Rey tosses away the blue Skywalker lightsaber. You know, like Luke did. He threw it away. But a ghostly hand reaches out to grab it before it hurtles into oblivion. So now it's Luke who encourages Rey not to give up by telling her of Leia's enormous confidence in her. Leia,
who's only met her a couple times, you know.
Leia, who's only met her a couple times, who was in a coma so Holdo could do everything Leia should have done in the last movie. Leia saw the potential within her and hoped that Rey would be able to restore balance to the Force.
Well, I thought it was already restored.
So we have to rebalance the Force. Restore balance to the Force one more time like Anakin did. So, okay, this was I joked. I said, you watch what they're going to do with Rey. They're going to make her the chosen one. So they're basically undoing everything Anakin did by ending the Jedi and the Sith, basically, and starting, clean slate. Undoing it so Rey can come along and rebalance the Force.
Yeah, and exactly.
And people think we needed these sequels because...
Exactly.
You know, the Redditor said, presumably we'll learn more about Leia's sentiments toward Rey throughout The Rise of Skywalker from some of the archival footage of Carrie Fisher, originally shot for The Force Awakens, because there hasn't been a lot of evidence for this in the two preceding films.
Right, exactly.
I mean, this is like...
They're going to retcon everything.
We are pulling this out of our ass at this point.
Yeah.
This doesn't even make sense. Thanks to Luke's pep talk, Ghost Luke, who can now physically grab objects, Rey's reinvigorated in a tasty glass of warm green milk. She's invigorated to take on Palps. There's just one problem. She destroyed the ship she used to get to Ahch-To, just like Luke did. But that's no biggie when you've got an all-powerful Jedi as your mentor, even if he isn't alive. Luke dredges up his iconic X-Wing fighter.
Oh, his iconic X-Wing fighter. He dredges up his iconic X-Wing fighter to give it to Rey.
So, let me get this straight. It's Rey's lightsaber. It's Rey's Millennium Falcon. And now it's Rey's X-Wing too.
Yeah, this hits really close to home now. Somebody else's blog now.
when you spend years building something up and then somebody comes along.
Waltzes in and be like, look what I've done. Look what I've done, when they've done literally nothing.
So Rey has literally done nothing. She's literally done
She's a usurper.
Nothing.
Rey is a usurper.
She's a usurper.
So let's for those who are fans of Rey, I hope this isn't true because they just make Rey a usurper.
So it gets better. Now she's got everybody's everything. So Rey, he directs Rey to his hut where he's been keeping Leia's lightsaber safe ever since she stopped training. This means Rey's got 2 sabers. The Anakin Luke Skywalker blade, no, it's Rey's because she touched it.
She looked at it's hers.
And now she's got Leia's too. The leak doesn't reveal the color of Leia's blade, but last week's Making Star Wars suggests via artistic rendering it will be blue. Both leaks claim Rey will wield 2 blades simultaneously, one in each hand during the final battle against Palpatine. She'll take on the Emperor alone without Kylo Ren's help. Because she can't have a man help her.
No. Because she's the most powerful, because it took 2 Skywalkers. Luke couldn't defeat him on his own. It took Luke and Vader, Anakin, to defeat him. But not Rey. Rey will have all the power of them that came before her, so she's magnified, and she will kick his ass on her own because she doesn't need no help from anybody.
So let me get this straight. So basically, the prophecy of the Chosen One has no point. Mm-hmm. There was no purpose. All of the shit that Anakin went through, all the stuff that Luke went through, there was no point because it's all undone, so Rey can redo it. Mm-hmm. So exactly. She can be the one. They
all undone did everything so that she can usurp everybody's things and do it herself. I mean, at least if you're gonna make a story, give her own things. One of the rites of passage was make your own lightsaber stuff. Give her own stuff. You know what I'm saying?
She does.
I know.
We're getting to that point.
But you know what I'm saying? You give her own things that didn't take from somebody else. Why? There's this new trend in everything. In TV and movies and comics and everything. And the trend is to take what's already been done, create nothing, usurp it all, ruin it to make your character the bestest, greatest ever, and then say if anybody complains about it, well, you're just haters. That is a new trend, and that's exactly what they're doing again.
Yeah. That's we've seen it in comics, we've seen it in video games, we see it. It's always like, thanks for keeping the seat warm for me, guys.
Thanks for building the seat, making the seat, giving the seat power, keeping it warm. But I'm here to take it because I just stepped into it.
Because this is my birthright to just walk. Because
I'm me.
Because I'm me, and I showed up, and I deserve it. Once the battle's won, the Emperor is vanquished again.
I think they're even like, what?
Rey and her Resistance pals will return to the place that the Skywalker saga began on Tatooine. We learned that after the final battle...
What, no Batu?
No Batu, Tatooine.
Tatooine? Okay, go ahead.
Everybody go to Tatooine and come to Galaxy's Edge and build a droid. We learned that after the final battle, Rey disassembles Anakin and Leia's lightsabers, combining them to make a new one with a golden and yellow blade for herself.
Where did she get the crystal for that?
Well, she disassembled... So, was it a double-bladed lightsaber because she's got 2 crystals? Now, this is bullshit. So, she not only does she redo everything that Luke and Vader did, not only...
And she does it better and more powerful.
Right.
It takes everything that was, iconic from the originals.
I'm literally scratching my head. So not only does she undo everything so she can... They undid everything so she can do it again, but... all of a sudden, Leia's a Jedi, which was never mentioned in the other 2 movies.
It was in the books, though, but they should have mentioned it, that she was training in the books. They should have mentioned it before this. I mean, the fact that wait till the last movie and suddenly, it just, come on.
After Carrie Fisher dies.
You get that idea because she Space Jesus herself, remember?
She Space Jesus herself.
So she Space Jesus herself in the last film, so you kind of had inkling that she had Force powers, clearly.
Is that what she was doing? I thought she was just flying.
Well, Squid King calls it Space Jesus.
Space Jesus herself. And then they knock her into a coma for most of the movie. Mm-hmm. So... But she's going to take both of their lightsabers and destroy them so she can make a new one for herself, but made out of the parts of theirs. Mm-hmm. This is very much a statement for the state of entertainment, isn't it? Where you take something classic and beloved and destroy it, and repurpose it for yourself, and then say
make your OCs take over.
Yeah,
and then say it's mine. It's mine. Look! I made something new, and it's the bestest ever. And you have, if you don't like it, you're a hater. You're a misogynist. You're an incel. You're whatever because you don't like it. You're just a hater. You hate women. You just hate women, even though one of the lightsabers was from dudes. But you hate women.
In the closing, and then we already talked about this. If this is how it ends,
well, they buried the leftover pieces. They talked about that. They buried she buries leftover pieces in the Tatooine sands of the Lars homestead that she suddenly knows where it is.
Right. Let's talk about that. There are lots of things wrong with this. One, it was the Lars homestead. It was, Luke lived there. Leia has never been, that we're aware of. Right? She was living in a palace in Alderaan. Luke lived there, and he's got a lot of probably bad memories, considering he saw his aunt and uncle get charbroiled, and he couldn't wait to get out of there. And his aunt and uncle got cooked, so the place probably has a lot of fire damage, you know, and it's been sitting for decades. I mean, Anakin didn't live in the Lars homestead, right? He grew up as a slave, he came back to Tatooine, showed up at the Lars homestead once, his mom dies, he never goes back.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of bad memories about this place,
It's all
you know.
about healing. We're gonna bury, after she took everything that was yours and made it hers, she's gonna bury the leftover pieces of the crap she doesn't need, and that's for healing purposes.
And how many freaking desert planets do we need inside? Just in this movie, we're going to have this other desert planet where the Burning Man Festival takes place. Previously, we had Jakku, which looks just like Tatooine. We've got Batu, which looks just like Tatooine. And now we're going to actual Tatooine. Like, you know, I don't know. This is just... And again, the place has been, you know, 30 years. Do they still have the dead bodies of
I doubt
Aunt
they'd
Beru
be
and
there.
Owen? I mean, does she have to step over? But she goes to Luke's old house, buries Leia's lightsaber, makes no sense.
We'll bury both the pieces of whatever she doesn't need.
Next to Shmi's body, is that their the way of tying it into the prequels? Like, I'm just gonna bury the parts of Luke's lightsaber.
The stuff I don't need.
Next to Owen, stuff the junk, the crap, because I took took all the parts out. Bury the crap next to Luke's grandma, and to possibly Owen and Beru. You know, who buried Owen and Beru, because, you know, Luke just ditched and never mentioned him again, ever. So Luke didn't give a shit, you know? So, I mean, this is just dumb. And then she takes the name. So, she takes the name Skywalker.
Wait, she does?
Yes. Somebody asked her who she is, and she says she's Rey Skywalker. So, she takes Luke's lightsaber. We have a checklist here. She takes Luke's lightsaber. She takes Leia's lightsaber. She takes Han's Falcon and his best friend Chewie. She takes Luke's droid, right? Plus she has her own droid. So she has two droids. She has Poe's droid, and she has R2-D2, and this other green one, Dio. And now she's got Luke's house and Luke's name. Like I said, this is a Jedi divorce.
It's like a divorce, but like, you know, they weren't even married. So.
This is a bad Jedi divorce, is what this is. If this is true, and I'm inclined to think this is true, because we're talking the novelization would have been done by now. We're talking all the little books would have had to have been printed. If this is true, this is going to be the most bullshit Star Wars movie ever made. Like, this is going to make The Last Jedi look like a freaking masterpiece. I don't even have... I thought they were going to course correct. They're not. They're going right back to the same... They're doubling down. They're doubling down on The Last Jedi.
So at the end, Rey walks away with everything, and then Rey's the Jedi you need to remember. Never mind Anakin, never mind Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Rey you have to remember.
They had to undo everything Luke and Anakin did,
and like I
so
said
Rey
before,
could redo it.
With The Last Jedi, the reason I didn't like it was because I liked Poe and I liked Finn, and they kind of had to... You had to knock them down, like make Finn a deserter, and Poe was like an asshat for no reason, just to elevate these new female characters they put in. There was no reason to do that. They could... Leia always held her ground with the guys. They didn't have to like make them less than. Except for when what was it on YouTube? They made Luke bumbling an idiot so she could save him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This was a new thing. They didn't have to use to weaken characters to make the women stand on their own. I'm a female. That insults me, because I'm like, if I'm gonna hold my ground, I want to hold my ground on equal footing with somebody. I don't want them to be less than just so I can be more than. I'm not really more than, am I? And that's what they did with The Last Jedi, and I really hated that. And everybody's like, you're a misogynist. No, I don't like weak ass storytelling, and that's what that was. And that was just a cheap ass move. And now we're going one step further, where everybody else is, you know, she is the one true Jedi, that she is the one who brought balance to the Force after it was already balanced, and then had to rebalance it again because, you know, money. And now, you know, because we have to remember when we walk away, the one true chosen one that has all the stuff is Rey.
Rey has all the best loot. She's got everybody's everything. And that is like quintessential Mary Sue. That she shows up and she gets everything, and she outshines everybody, and she's better at everything than everybody, and the story suddenly becomes about her. And then not only that, but she walks away being the Skywalker. You know,
but she wasn't even a Skywalker.
She's going to be the one that carries on the Jedi legacy, even though she's barely trained, because she just happened to be there.
Well, because she has both their lightsabers, and that'd be Anakin's lightsaber too. So
and she's got all of the Jedi's books.
Right. So she is the Skywalker.
She's the Skywalker. So everybody's going to remember Rey. They're not going to remember Vader. They're not going to remember Luke.
I just hope this isn't true.
I think it's true.
I know. I'm trying not to think, because I've heard some of these things other places. Shh. I better not be true.
So they are doubling down on the Last Jedi's mistakes. If this is true. I don't even have words at this point. I'm just like, I can't even. And you know what's going to happen? The media is going to love it. They're going to love it.
The media's going to love anything. Even if it was a piece of garbage, because Disney is Disney, they're going to love it. They're going to say they love it because, you know. It's
got a female lead in it, even if none of this makes any freaking sense at all.
I have no problem with Rey being a female lead and everything. I just think that they did it in such a way that they could have done so much better.
Well, no, I'm just saying, because the media, you know, they actually, you know, threw shade at Solo. But even if this movie is the biggest cluster ever, they're not going to throw shade at it, because it is critic proof. They have a female lead. And you can't criticize any Disney movie with a female lead.
I think that, you know, they could have done Rey in such a way that it would have had a similar outcome, but she wouldn't have been the new, you know, chosen one. They could have made her a cool character, and they could have done it in her own way and a little bit different. You know what I mean? It just.
I mean, she doesn't even need to be trained. She basically.
They Mary sued her from the beginning. They should have done that.
I mean, well, they've got Leia training her, but she's barely trained. And Leia's, again, this makes no sense for Leia all of a sudden.
Well, now she's probably a Jedi Master, but no one knew.
Oh, who, Leia? Secret Jedi Master? Yeah.
So you have two women that are powerful, so you can't.
Then why didn't you go kick your son's ass? Why did you send Han in to do a woman's job?
Yeah, he didn't know. You were sending him in. He wasn't going to do.
Yeah, you know, why did you send a man to do woman's work, Leia? You should have gone and kicked Kylo's ass yourself.
That's a very good point.
You know, shame on you. So, yeah, I have, like, no interest in this movie at all at this point. I'm just like, God, you know, now your failure is complete.
I'll tell you what, like I said earlier, I really don't, it's like, I get like a pit in my stomach when I think about this movie. And that's sad for me. It just breaks my heart, because I was such a big Star Wars fan. I mean, I still love the original trilogy, and I still don't mind the prequels that much. You know, the original trilogy is my thing. I love a lot of the books. I like Rogue One quite a bit. I I don't even want to. But you know what I'm excited about seeing? Frozen 2, which I thought I would suck. And now every time I see more trailers about it, I'm like, oh my God, this looks good. So I want to see Frozen 2. This thing could just, whatever.
Yeah, when Frozen 2 has moved to the top of Geeky's holiday movie list, you know you failed.
And this, you know, I was thinking about this too, and they said about, you know, Disney's all worried about Galaxy's Edge not doing well and the toys not selling and everything. So let's just double down on this. Again, do you think if more you double down on it, that you're just going to suddenly turn people? It's like politics. When has you ever yelling at somebody and telling them they have to agree with you ever worked? Ever?
Yeah, when has this ever worked? I'm like,
it's not going to. It's not going to work, and you're just going to turn more people off if you keep people that were like, oh, I actually don't mind Galaxy's Edge, which is cool. I kind of want to see it too, and maybe I'll like it. They're like, the fact that they keep shoving it down my throat is making me not want to go.
Yeah.
I mean, here, step up, just step back, step up, just take. I can't wait till this is over.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna wrap this one up. Speaking of being over, and we're gonna have a couple more actual Star Wars videos. I think later today too. We're gonna talk about. Yeah, we are.
Okay.
It never ends. It never ends.
No, I have other things too.
Star Wars is the gift that keeps on giving.
All right.
So we'll talk about that later. Okay, so please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants on Clownfish TV. This has been Neon and Geeky.
Bye.
Goodbye. Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.